सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. I welcome you all with my love and respects. Today's sutra Abhyasa Vairagyabhyam Tat Nirodha, relaxing from these patterns through constant and intensive practice of unclutching. Let me read the sutra once more. Abhyasa Vairagyabhyam Tat Nirodha, relaxing from these patterns through constant and intensive practice of unclutching. Patanjali expressed this whole book in such a way, even if everything is lost, somehow only one sutra is alive. Even if you get one sutra, you can become enlightened. This one sutra will be self-sufficient and individually independent to lead you to the ultimate truth. When I read each sutra, I am just filled with that Patanjali's grandness. There is a beautiful story. It says, suddenly one day, Patanjali wanted to express whatever he needs to express. See, Ramakrishna very beautifully says, whenever I speak more than certain limit, more than what people can understand who are in front of me, I feel somebody is choking my throat. He always tells, I feel somebody is choking my throat. The moment I try to talk something which may be too much, which may not be understood by the people who are in front of me, I feel somebody is choking my throat. He calls in his own way, he says in his own way, mother is choking my throat and she is saying, enough, stop, don't tell too much, don't reveal too much. Of course, it's not that somebody is choking, traffic jam happens in your throat. Too much wants to come out, too much needs to be expressed. And the big problem is, the moment you utter something in the word, the whole thing is reduced. See, even this sutra, Abhyasa Vairagyabhyam Tad Nirodha, the moment I translate, relaxing from these patterns through constant and intensive practice of unclutching, I know I can say I have disrespected the sutra. The moment I translate, I feel only one part is expressed. You can't express the complete dimension of the sutra. See, when I recite that sutra, what happens inside my inner space, that can never be reproduced inside your inner space by the words. That is where the problem starts. So I have to look, it's like when that sutra is expressed or experienced, what happens inside me is a four-dimensional experience. But words can create only two-dimensional experience in you. It can create only picture. It can create only a picture. Please understand, orating is an art which can create the same picture which is in the mind of an orator to the person who is hearing. So orating can reproduce only the picture. It can never reproduce the experience. Picture is one side of an experience. Experience is four-dimensional. Picture is only one side. Only that can be reproduced through words. It's like somebody goes to beach and sees the ocean. When he comes back, he is forced to describe what he has seen. He goes on trying to describe. Do you know water? Lot of water. Lot of water. How much ever he says, lot of water. Can you understand ocean? No. You can't understand the ocean by his word, lot of water. No. It is impossible. There's a beautiful story by Ramakrishna. He says 4 blind people were asked to study an elephant and give a report. One guy goes and touches the trunk. The other guy goes and touches the tail. The other guy goes and touches the leg. The fellow who touched the leg and felt the leg, he says elephant means a pillar. The guy who felt the tail, he says elephant means broomstick. The guy who felt the tusk, he says elephant means yes, big spoon. Each one is describing in their own way. One guy was saying the same story in a class, and I asked the students, without telling that 4 people were blind, he says 4 people went and studied the elephant. They made this kind of report about elephants. Who are they? One child got up and said, maybe experts, Swamiji. Experts can create only this kind of reports. When we try to reproduce the thing which is happening inside us through words in some other being, in some other zone, in some other space, this is where we end. At the most, you can only give the picture of your experience. You see, the picture which you bring back from your vacation can never make somebody experience what you went through in ordinary vacation, which is happening inside this planet. That itself can't be expressed by words. Then how do you express? How can you expect which is happening in some other planet? The vacation which is happening in a different planet is what I call enlightenment. So how can that be described, expressed? That is why Ramakrishna says, somebody is choking my throat. Naturally, the moment the expression starts happening, you feel. See, the experience is like a huge godown of cotton. Expression is like a small thread coming out of that cotton. The thread can never do justice to the amount of cotton available. The thread which comes out can never tell about the cotton itself. It's like a huge godown of cotton is there, and one small thing comes out as a thread from that godown, gets processed and comes out as thread. You can see in your own life the pran, the energy which is inside your system. By the time it gets converted into word, it loses its whole effect. It loses its whole charm. It loses its whole energy. It loses its whole strength. Even an ordinary experiences like love, simple experiences, even for that experiences, when it is verbalized, it loses its power. So how can the spiritual experiences or the truths be verbalized? I can see very clearly. Again, and sometimes I feel, after saying, I think I completely said it in the other way. You can see very clearly. I have said it in the other way. So when the moment you try to verbalize, you can take picture of only one side. The multi-dimension of the truth can never be expressed as it is. I may express one side I can take picture and describe that picture. By the time I finish that picture and come to the next side picture, you have forgotten that picture. And by the time I finish this picture and come to the next picture, you have forgotten this too. That is why techniques are needed. Words can reproduce only the pictures, visualizations happen inside our inner space. Only techniques can reproduce the experiences which are happening in our inner space. The problem which Ramakrishna faced, almost all the masters faced, Patanjali is also facing, that he wants to tell everything but unable to. He just wants to open up and put everything in writing or everything available. Actually, it happens when you know. When you know the truth, please understand, there is a beautiful Zen saying. When you know the truth, you can't possess the truth will possess you. So it will be just expressing, oozing out, not just through your words, your very body language will radiate that grace. It will just express through you. Even your body language expresses humbleness. You will be, even in that humbleness, that kind of a grace, a different experience will be expressed. Somebody asks the Zen master, why should an enlightened man speak? Will he be speaking the truth? Why should he speak? This guy says, if he is not expressing, if he is silent, he doesn't know. And again this guy asks, oh, then enlightened masters will speak. Will they express? This master says, no, if he is speaking, he doesn't know. Disciple got confused. What do you mean? Just now you said, if he is expressing, he doesn't know. If he is speaking, he doesn't know. Again you are saying, if he is silent, he doesn't know. What do you mean? If you will neither speak nor be silent, what he will do? He says beautifully, he will be just singing. His very presence will be expressing. It will be more than words. It will be more than words. Just the strength or the confidence or the energy expressed by his presence, by his body language. I always tell people, the words which I am expressing are only one dimension of that experience. But the courage, confidence, energy which I am expressing is the complete 360-degree picture of that experience. Now there are new cameras which can capture 360-degree. The energy is the 360-degree expression of the same truth. So Patanjali feels very strongly, he has to express the whole thing as it is. Fortunately, Patanjali is blessed with 1000 hoods. Patanjali is supposed to be the incarnation of Adisesha with 1000 hoods. I can say, mystically if I have to explain, it may not be 1000 heads, it may be 1000 dedicated heads who have become part of him. 1000 strong disciples who are strongly connected in his inner space, with his inner space, who can just pen down what he is expressing in their dimension. See, a disciple imbibes one dimension of the master. So each disciple represents one dimension of that master. So maybe he had 1000 strong, close disciples who are completely imbibed, feel connected, who can express one dimension of him. So he decides to pen down the whole thing and he goes into that high ecstasy, connects with the whole 1000 people, telepathically or whatever way he can, just connects, no words are shared, no teachings have been given, just he puts the whole group in high ecstasy high energy, the whole 1000 starts downloading, and whatever they downloaded starts transcribing, they start transcribing. The literatures which are produced by Patanjali in this extraordinary way is only called Panini Mahabhashya, and the scriptures related to this Yoga Sutra, please understand, it's not the only book Patanjali wrote. Patanjali wrote few other works. He is trying to express the truth as it is. It's practically like a lightning landing on the body and getting transcribed through the hands. If you can imagine a lightning landing on the body and getting transcribed into words. Each sutra is independently intelligent to lead you to enlightenment, to lead you to fulfillment. Each sutra is self-fulfilling. I think he knows in future maybe some sutras will be lost, some will be distorted. The whole thing, all the sutras which he expressed may not be available to the planet Earth. So he decided, even if one sutra is available, he decided that should be able to lead a man to ultimate enlightenment. I can say this sutra is favorite sutra of my own teacher, Yogi Yogananda Puri. He will continuously repeat this one sutra. Anybody comes with any problem, from knee pain to some experiences of samadhi, any problem they come up, he has a standard answer. This only sutra I will repeat. He will say, Abhyasa Vairagyabhyam Tannirodha. Sometime when they come and tell the problem, they know, they'll tell, we know your answer, Swamiji. You don't have to answer, we just want to tell you our problem. We know the answer, we just want to tell you our problem. Means, this sutra is the ultimate solution for all the problems and obstacles you face in the yoga path, in the path of yoga. It is very easy to start the path of yoga because it is very inviting. See, when you see some yogi, how they live, when you see their life, it is just too much. First you will naturally feel jealous. You will feel jealous. Naturally what you will think, next step, I should do what he has done. And with all the enthusiasm, you will buy all possible books, yoga mat and everything. Sometimes I have seen people buying whatever available related to yoga, get on set. And after 6 months, if you see, it will be lying down in garage for garage sale.